From an early age, Maya had it. She could dance, she could sing, and it didn't hurt that she was also easy on the eyes. Even though she'd end up launching her music career during a time period where she'd be competing with numerous other R&B divas, Maya still stood out and held her own. Her journey, though, wasn't without its trials and tribulations, from her battle with schoolyard bullies to her record company's shady tactics, to rumors about her bedroom escapades with various men in the industry. Through it all, Maya chose to stay the course, fight for what she wanted, and be true to herself. Maya Marie Harrison was born, the oldest of three, on October 10, 1979, in Washington, D.C., to a musician and singer father and accountant mother. She took violin lessons throughout her childhood, but dance was her main love. At the age of just 2, she started ballet lessons, and a couple of years after that, she dove into jazz and tap. While she was honing her artistic skills growing up, she had to deal with insults and teasing because of her biracial background. Her father is Black, and her mother is white. I can remember being as young as 5 years old and not wanting to be seen going out with my parents because I felt that people were staring at me like I was an alien or something. It was something rare and something different in my area back then. I guess different is bad when you're a kid because you just want to fit in with everyone else. After graduating from high school, Maya did take a few classes at the University of Maryland at College Park, but her mind was always on music. When her father realized that she was serious about a career in the industry, he began shopping her demo tape around, eventually catching the interest of the president and CEO of University Music Entertainment, Hawk Islam, who later signed her. Being the connected guy he was then able to hook Maya up with a distribution deal through Interscope. He also hired an elite team of collaborators to work with her, including Missy Elliott, Babyface, Diane Warren, Drew Hill, and Silk the Shocker, with the goal in mind to market Maya as their main female R&B artist, going up against peers Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica. Maya's self-titled debut album dropped in the spring of 1998. It yielded 3 successful singles, including her debut single called It's All About Me, featuring fellow R&B singer Sisqó. It became a top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. Moving On and My First Night With You both made it into the top 40. The album eventually went platinum and gave Maya her first award accolades, which included 2 Soul Train Music Award nominations and a NAACP Image Award nomination. Professionally, Maya was on fire, but personally, she was struggling. Her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and her parents had filed for divorce. She told Vibe in 2018, "Watching my family deteriorate, not knowing what was going to happen to the house we grew up in, what was going to happen to my mother made me torn. I had to step up to the plate and be the father. Not so much the husband, but I had to be there for my mom emotionally and financially, while having to put a smile on my face as a teenager. I was forced into adulthood immediately." Behind the music, she was also dealing with sexual harassment at the age of 17 from an executive she says was instrumental in her career. She told Vibe Vixen in 2007 that even at that young age, she knew not to entertain the advances, but she didn't know how to stand up for herself either, so she just internalized it. In addition to her solo work, Maya also collaborated with other artists in projects that turned out to be quite successful, including Take Me There with Blackstreet, Blinky Blink, and Mace for the soundtrack of the animated film The Rugrats movie, as well as Ghetto Superstar with Old Dirty Bastard and Praz, recorded for Praz's debut album and also added to the soundtrack for the political satire film Bulworth. The latter became a worldwide #1 hit, topping the charts in more than a dozen countries, and earned Maya her first Grammy Award nomination in the Best Rap Performance by a Duo or Group category. With the turn of a new millennium came new music from Maya, with the release of her second album titled Fear of Flying in April 2000. While the lead single, The Best of Me featuring Jadakiss, underperformed, as well as the Part 2 version featuring Jay-Z, the album's second single, called Case of the X, exploded on the charts, climbing all the way to #2 on the Hot 100, and became Maya's international breakthrough hit. How you gonna act? How you gonna handle that? What you gonna do when she wants you back? With the success of Case of the X, her label re-released Fear of Flying in the fall of the same year, with a revised track listing, featuring 2 new songs, including the 3rd single, Free. The album would go on to become her 2nd platinum project. Later on that year, Maya lent her vocals to the reggae fusion track, Girls Dem Sugar, by Jamaican dancehall artist Beenie Man. Even though it only did moderately well in the US, it did become an international hit. The numbers her body of work was putting up, though, wouldn't silence the critics. In the review of her 2nd album, AllMusic commented that, quote, "She is a promising young talent, but still has yet to develop the chops necessary to rank among the best of R&B divas," end quote. Rolling Stone similarly wrote, quote, "The signature quiver in Maya's voice does give her some sonic identity, but otherwise this could be the music of Destiny's Child, Aaliyah, or any of the countless interchangeable hip-hop R&B divas," end quote. Her next work of art would have her collaborating with 3 other singers on a remake of a 70s hit that would take her career to even higher heights. A remake of the 1975 LaBelle hit, Lady Marmalade, featuring Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, and Pink off the Moulin Rouge soundtrack, was released in April 2001 and shot to #1 on the Hot 100, staying there for 5 consecutive weeks. It also hit the top spot in over 15 countries. At that year's MTV Video Music Awards, Lady Marmalade was nominated for 6 awards, walking away with 2. The following year, the quartet performed the song at the Grammys and won the award for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals. Maya's 3rd album, Mood Ring, was released in the summer of 2003. The project's first single, My Love Is Like Woe, became a top 20 hit on the Hot 100. Unfortunately, the 2nd single, Fallen, failed to duplicate the same success. Also around this time, Maya created the Maya Arts and Tech Foundation, a nonprofit that provides inner-city youth with arts and tech education. After tiring from the fight for artistic control, Maya parted with Interscope in 2005 and signed with Universal Motown. Her next release would be the track Lock You Down, featuring Lil Wayne, slated to be the lead single off her upcoming album. It was a commercial failure, as was the 2nd single, Ridin'. The album, titled Liberation, suffered numerous pushbacks, and in mid-2007 was accidentally leaked in Japan, prompting her label to release it as a digital-only download that October. Disappointed by the label and determined to do things her way, Maya departed from Universal Motown and continued working on new material under her own independent imprint, Planet 9. Her next 2 albums, Sugar and Spice and Kiss, were released in 2008 and 2011 respectively in Japan. In between those projects, Maya appeared as a contestant on Season 9 of the ABC reality show Dancing with the Stars. One of the show's frontrunners throughout the entire competition, she ultimately placed 2nd. Starting in 2014, Maya released a series of EPs on her independent label, followed by her 7th studio album titled Smooth Jones in 2016. A critical success, it received a Grammy Award nomination for Best R&B Album at the 59th ceremony, and gave her confirmation that all her hard work, especially during the low moments, was all worth it. Her last album to date, TKO, The Knockout, was released in April 2018, commemorating the 20th anniversary of her start in the business. One of the best tools that Maya's used to help her continue to make her music her way is frugality. At one time, a rumor surfaced about her being broke and living in a studio apartment without any furniture. Well, the living in a studio apartment part is correct, but Maya is far from broke. She made the conscious choice to downgrade her lifestyle and live more simply for the sake of her art, preferring to reserve her money for more expensive things like radio, PR, marketing, and management. In 2019, Maya added another reality show credit to her name when she co-starred in the VH1 reality television series Girls Cruise with close friend Lil' Kim. In February 2020, Maya set everyone's Twitter fingers on fire when she posted a pic of herself in a wedding gown with the caption reading in part, "Officially Mrs. Lansky." Naturally, people were wondering who the lucky guy was that she'd gotten hitched to, but it turned out that the photo was from the music video for her song called The True. Maya, though, decided to not confirm anything and let the rumor ride its course. Then, during an interview the following year, she revealed that she was, in fact, married to herself. Back in 2013, Maya chose to practice sologamy, marriage by a person to themselves. It was all about self-care, self-love, and getting myself back after a toxic relationship. Last year, I renewed my vows stepping into a new year. It's not about anything like all men are bad or anything like that. It's really about becoming your best self and making sure that you're leveling up in all aspects of your life. As for the Mrs. Lansky part, it's her alter ego, as she explained to Vibe in 2021. Maya Lansky is a boss. Maya Lansky is also Maya Harrison. It's who I step up to be when I think I become too vulnerable, too gullible, or too soft in my approach to maybe relying on or waiting on others. Maya Lansky is the person that always steps up to the plate to learn a new skill set if necessary. Like many other songstresses, Maya has also dabbled in the acting world over the years. She secured roles in over a dozen films, including her debut in 1999 in the crime thriller film In Too Deep, and the 2002 musical Chicago, based on the stage musical of the same name. That role would win her several awards in the ensemble categories, including the Critics' Choice Movie Award and the Screen Actors Guild Award. She's also made a variety of small screen appearances, including a very memorable one, as herself, in an episode of the 90s TV sitcom Sister Sister. Any fan of Maya's will know that she's never been one to freely broadcast her personal business, including who she dates or what her relationship status is at any given time. As a result, she's had to contend with some crazy rumors about her getting down with a bunch of people in the industry, such as Lil Zane, Silk the Shocker, and The Game. There was even one about her having Cisco's baby. One of the biggest stories that just wouldn't die came about following her sexy appearance in The Game's music video for his song Dreams. 50 Cent decided to insert himself and claim, in a diss track to The Game called I'm Not Rich and Still Lyin', that he had knocked her boots first. Maya denied doing anything of the sort with him and said she didn't know how he could get rapper Lloyd Banks confused with her. With her father in tow, Maya confronted 50 about the blatant lie, and he apologized. However, since the confrontation happened behind closed doors, Maya still, for years, continued to deal with being viewed as someone who gets around in the industry. Another rapper that she's had issues with is Jay-Z. According to those around the two at the time that they were getting ready to do the remix to Maya's song The Best of Me, he didn't like the fact that she wasn't showing him the appreciation he felt she should by having someone like him grace her track with his presence. He became so annoyed at one point that the collab almost didn't happen. In 2014, Maya also finally put to rest the long-running rumor that she and Jay had a romantic relationship, vehemently denying anything ever occurred between them in a lengthy Instagram comment. If you're wondering why she felt prompted to say something after ignoring it for so long, the reason can be chalked up to the death threats she received, as well as a face-to-face confrontation with a fan. Years later, she'd reveal that at one point in her career, she was urged to date superstars for publicity. She refused, but that didn't stop the rumor mill from fixating on gossip. Maya continues to live in the recording studio, saying she doesn't often come out unless she's touring. When she does take to the stage, her longtime vegan lifestyle is on full display, with her looking and sounding just as good as she did in the 90s. In 2023, she'll celebrate 25 years in the music industry, as an internationally known singer, songwriter, producer, musician, dancer, choreographer, actress, activist, and philanthropist.